So look at this, as I was just saying in the statement in this video, right? The mind is going to use past experiences to protect you from the pain in the future. So the mind uses whatever is unresolved from the past to create potential futures of people are going to laugh at me. People are going to, take advantage of me. People are going to step up or they're going to step over me or whatever. And from there, it creates behaviors to protect me. The problem is that many times those same behaviors it created to protect you are also creating pain. So it's not that you're free of pain, you're still under pain, but maybe you're not even realizing this. So the mind normally thinks in the short term. It thinks, okay, each time I spoke up, I was brought down, I was judged, I was criticized. So I'm not going to speak up anymore to protect me. So not speaking up is always going to bring problems, because imagine that you want to eat something or you want to study something or you want to do something and you're not speaking up and you're not doing what you want because you're disconnecting from that as a way of protecting yourself. Do you really think that you're going to feel free? You're going to feel happy? You're going to feel fulfilled if you're not really following your inner voice, what you really want? And I know the answer. The answer is, of course, no. If I'm not following my true calling, what I truly feel is for me, what I would really love, because I'm not speaking up, I'm also creating pain. Again, the thing is that the mind is more worried of being judged, criticized, and rejected, not feeling love and acceptance, than the cost of not feeling happy, fulfilled, or, freedom or whatever. So the mind is trying to keep you safe in the short term. The problem is that the short term is going to maybe work sometimes, but if you look forward, you're not going to be happy, because when you're in your 60s, in your 70s, maybe, somebody that is dying is going to look back and is going to feel a lot of regret, a lot of shame for not speaking up, for not doing what they wanted to do, because their mind was protecting them. Yes, protecting them, not screwing them. It wasn't doing self-sabotage. It was protecting them from that deeper pain. So people might say, okay, Tommy, I'm getting what you're saying. I need to start doing what then? So what I'm going to share today is exactly what I help people with in the work that I do, and even the book that I share, in the course, in the working one-on-one. What I first of all help people start is exploring themselves, exploring their mind, to understand what are their patterns, what are their behaviors, right? Because many times they're not even aware of their own behaviors, right? They might think about procrastination. Okay, yeah, that is a behavior. Okay, so now let's start seeing. Some people are aware of it. Some others are not even aware of it. Some people tell me, Tommy, I'm not being able to scale my business. I'm not being able to, advance in my career professionally. I'm not able to, get into relationships. And when we start going deeper, exploring the mind, we start finding the behaviors. So I ask people that they're trying to grow their business, trying to, do things for themselves. And they're like, okay, have you done this or that? And they're like, oh, I don't have time. So people start blaming the problem as, I don't have time. Oh, I'm stressed out. I'm low motivation. I'm lazy. Those are not the problems. Those are the solutions to something deeper. So the idea is, okay, what's really going on? Okay, a part of me thinks that I'm lazy. What am I being lazy about? Oh, waking up earlier. Okay, let's see what's going on there. Because many times the sleeping in, not being able to wake up earlier, could be related to pain being covered up by sleeping longer. If I sleep longer, there's less times of the day that I'm thinking of the things that are worrying me, that I might be rejecting myself, I might be criticizing myself, and I'd rather be sleeping. That's another way of protecting yourself. Sleeping more is more like a protective mechanism so that the mind doesn't go into this loop of beating yourself up, judging, rejecting, or things like that. So here we go. Now we start understanding that there might be pain. Okay, what pain is there? Why? How does it look like? Could it be judging? Could it be criticism? Could it be rejection? How are you talking to yourself that most people have normalized so much that they're not even aware of. It's amazing. I've been doing this for 16 years, and it's amazing because I start listening to people, and it's so basic, so obvious how they treat themselves. And when I ask, okay, what did you just say? And they say like something blah, and I'm like, how does that sound? Yeah, I'm just, I'm saying that I should be further again, that I should have done something different in my life. There you go. So if somebody comes externally, your partner, your mom, your dad, and they tell you that you did this and you should have done something different, how does that feel? Oh, yeah, I wouldn't like if they do it. Okay, but you're doing it to yourself. Oh, you're right. So another big exercise that I tell people to do. Hey, Susan, how are you? Nice to have you here. So another big exercise that I tell people that they can do is start writing down what they are affected by. What they are affected by. So imagine that somebody is affected by what their partner tells them. Write it down. My partner makes me feel blah. My partner makes me feel this or that. My boss makes me feel this or that. The people I talk to when I'm trying to build my business make me feel this or that. Write it down. They make you feel, stupid. They make you feel, that you don't know what you're doing. Okay, start writing. It could be emotions, it could be thoughts. Write it down. Start with that. Next step, people, is to start changing the word my partner, my boss, my client, my potential client, and putting your name in there. How are you making yourself feel? Because in that sense, you're going to be able to start discovering what is the truth behind all of this. Because as I always say, life is going to bring you people and circumstances that are going to help you reveal how you are treating yourself. The way others treat you normally is a reflection of how you are treating yourself. And a lot of people don't like listening to this once, well, more than once. I wrote posts around narcissism and things like that in different groups. And people started attacking me as if I were the worst person in the world. And the only thing that I was sharing is many times the way you are being treated is a reflection of how you are treating yourself. Meaning that if somebody is acting as a narcissist towards you, self-centered, they don't care about you, blah, 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 what you're telling me, it's more about what's going on in your world than in that world on the outside. Because in most cases, and listen to this, if somebody comes to me and says, oh, my partner is all, so self-centered, the opposite of that is people pleasing. Listen to this, people pleasing. So that person might people please others. So in a way, they're not giving to themselves. So they might have narcissistic traits towards them too. The people pleasing, not so much, but maybe beating themselves up, right? Being hard on themselves. So yeah, they might not be doing it to others, but they're doing it to themselves. And now they're attracting people in their life that treat them in the same way so they can reveal how they are treating themselves. So, again, the idea is to be able to see how we treat ourselves. Most people are not even aware of it. We have blind spots. We don't realize how we're treating ourselves, but we realize how are others treating us. So if somebody's maybe not being so loving, not so supportive, not validating us, not accepting us, not making us feel loved, the question is, how am I doing this to myself? How am I treating myself that could be similar to this? How am I talking to myself? What are the things that are running in the back of my head? Because if not, as I started this presentation today, right, the mind is going to use my past to create behaviors that normally are going to look like, again, laziness, procrastination, perfectionism, people pleasing, not setting boundaries, control. Seriously, most of those behaviors are the byproduct of what happened in our past that is unresolved and that we keep adding to this. Why keep adding to this? Because maybe I keep telling myself that I'm stupid. I keep telling myself that I'm not good enough. I keep telling myself that I'm not, I don't deserve, that everything's going to go wrong, that I'm not going to be able to make it. What is the negative self-talk going in your mind that then the mind is going to try to protect you from that self-talk again by doing things that are going to keep that self-talk at bay. An example again, if I take actions and it doesn't go well, and I start judging myself because of the results that didn't go well, what's going to happen is the mind is going to push me to start procrastinating and hiding again, not taking actions to protect me. So when I start understanding how the mind works, I can start identifying my own behaviors. What is it that I'm looking for? Am I looking for validation, support, feeling good enough, feeling valued, feeling seen? The next thing is, where am I not making myself feel seen? Where am I not making myself feel validated? Where am I making myself feel not good enough? Because from there, now I have the power. If I think that others have to make me feel good enough, I'm giving my power away. And I'm following this guy, Chase Hughes, that he's a behavior expert, right? And he talks about how when we open the door to looking for, in a way, validation from the outside, we're also opening the door for being, in a way, affected by what others say about us too in a negative way. So when we're able to see that, suddenly it's like, oh, how can I start closing that door so that I don't need that on the outside? Because the more I need that on the outside, it means that I'm going to be affected by the negative that are going to come in. So where did I learn that I need to look on the outside for acceptance, recognition, validation, love, or anything? The more I'm able to start giving that to myself, realize that that was something that my parents taught me because they didn't know better. And now I can start learning how to give it to myself. Suddenly, I'm not going to be affected so much by others. And on the other hand, my mind is not going to need to protect me for negative outcomes because if I feel love and acceptance, I can start taking risks. I can start maybe another business. I can quit my job and look for another job. Or in the meantime that I'm, at my job, I start looking for another job. I can go to my boss and I can ask for a raise. I can, go out there and start dating people and see what comes out. The problem is many times people feel insecure and they're worried that if they go ask for a raise with their boss and the boss says no, their world collapses. Or a person that is going to start dating and a person doesn't, give them back love, they don't respond their messages, they seem not committed, they don't choose them. Suddenly they don't feel chosen, they don't feel good enough, they don't feel validated, they don't feel beautiful enough, whatever that is, intelligent enough, desirable enough, and they start going this downward spiral because they're not choosing themselves. The more we work on revealing those mechanisms, seeing what we have been taught in the past, that is projecting potential futures, and the mind is going to create behavior to try to protect us from that, that's when we truly start becoming free, free of judgment from others, free of, feeling that, we cannot set boundaries, free of needing to people please, free of perfectionism, free of any type of behavior that is holding us back. Because at the end, it's that, is these behaviors that are trying to help us that normally are holding us back. So it's becoming who we're meant to be by exploring the mind, entering into the mind, understanding the different behaviors, loving and accepting every part of us, the behavior of that part of us that is falling into people pleasing. Love it and accept it because it started people pleasing because they wanted to feel love and acceptance. So the more you beat yourself up for doing that behavior, you are rejecting yourself. The more you reject yourself, the more you're going to fall into people pleasing. It's the opposite of what most people teach. Listen to this again. A part of me didn't feel love and acceptance. As a part of me didn't feel love and acceptance, it created people pleasing to try to gain that love and acceptance from others. As I now beat myself up for doing that for many years, nowadays, whatever, it doesn't matter, but for doing it, what I'm doing is creating more pain, more rejection. More rejection, the mind is going to use the same behavior it created in the first place to try to look for love and acceptance on the outside. So beating yourself up is only reinforcing the behavior. So if you want to change, I would really recommend you start working on loving and accepting the different parts of you. Because again, how this guy teaches us too, Margaret Paul, Chase, Hughes, and I teach, I've been teaching this for 16 years, is you got to imagine that that part of you that is created the people pleasing was a little boy or a little girl. So would I beat up my kid if he's trying to people please? No, because I'm realizing that he's trying to feel love and acceptance. So what he needs is love and acceptance. When you see yourself as that little kid that created those behaviors to try to fit in, to feel love and accepted by mom, dad, at school, friends, others, now you look at that part of you in a more loving way. And when you understand when that somebody might be judging you or criticizing you, it's just a little kid, 8, 12. Imagine Tommy saying, oh, you're not good enough. And now instead of seeing Tommy, 46-year-old man, imagine a 8-year-old little Tommy that is scared and is trying to make you feel crap because he feels like crap. Suddenly, what others say, it's just coming, the negative that others say is coming from a little child that is not resolved inside of them. So now suddenly it's not a 46-year-old telling you that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve, that you're not valued, that you're never going to make it. It's a little kid that is really scared. When my dad told me I was going to end up in jail with one of my projects, one of my businesses, it wasn't illegal. I was not doing anything wrong, but he was scared. When I moved to the mountains here where I'm living right now, like 8 years ago, my dad told me you're going to end up in the streets with no money, failed, and you're going to come back to Buenos Aires with nothing. That's what he told me. That was a little kid that he was freaking scared. That wasn't a 50, 60 something old guy, my dad. That was a little kid. So now suddenly that whatever that person is saying negatively, picture that person as a little kid. Suddenly it loses all its power because it's a little kid that it's an adult with unresolved issues that's behaving and talking from that fear, from that part of them that is unresolved. Suddenly it loses its power. So the idea is to understand these things, how the mind works, how to spot how we are treating ourselves. What are those behaviors that might be in blind spots that we're not seeing? So now people from the outside have started to treat us like that, right? To understand what's going on. Now we become authors, creators in our life, nobody else. Because this is important to understand. When we put our life in other people's hands, we're giving our power away. And then we complain that we're living the life that we're living, but actually we're giving our power away. Yes. So the idea is to start regaining that power, to become co-creators with God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it. Because that's you. Whatever you're creating in your life is exactly what you're asking for. I know it sounds weird, but if my kid, right, is not doing good in maths, I'm going to sit down with him and bring math problems to help him improve in maths. If he's having reading problems, I'm going to sit down with him and we're going to do some reading. When we're doing it, he's going to be pissed. He's going to be angry. He's going to feel frustrated because we're practicing something that he realizes that he's not good at. So if I'm not a perfect dad, and I would do that for my kid, bringing those circumstances to him to help him improve in maths, in science, in Spanish, in English, in reading, wouldn't God, universe, spirit do exactly the same for you? Think about that, people. Whatever is happening to you is an opportunity to become greater. I love a movie that is God Almighty, I think it is with, oh, what's the name of the guy? Stephen Carell. Stephen Carell, you can look it up. Stephen Carell, uh, God Almighty or something. It's about an ark where Stephen Carell is a politician and God calls on him to build an ark. And it's amazing because I'm not going to spoil the movie, but in one part of the movie, it's amazing because the wife is talking to God and she doesn't know. The wife is talking to a waitress, a waiter, sorry, a waiter, that is God undercover. And the woman says, I prayed to be able to have a more, unified family, more love, more acceptance, have a tighter family together. And now things are as they are. And they had kind of got into a big fight. And God tells this woman, do you think that God is going to send you courage just because you ask for courage? Or is he going to send you situations where you're going to be able to prove your courage? And I love that because I cannot just give my kid maths, and solve his problems. That wouldn't help him grow. So what if God is sending you exactly what you need to help you grow? What if you are asking God, universe, spirit, to send you the circumstances? Suddenly, I'm the creator. I'm the author in my life, in whatever that is. I'm not saying it's comfortable. I'm not saying is, something that you would choose maybe at a conscious level from the human side. If you're struggling economically, if you're struggling with some type of disease or something, I'm not saying it's comfortable. I'm not saying that, you have to, yeah, accept it. Yes, sorry, we have to accept it. But I mean, like, it might be uncomfortable. It might not be pleasant, but it might be exactly, or it might be, no, sorry, let's put it another way. It's exactly what you're needing to grow and evolve. So when we start looking from there, and I'm not saying I'm there all the time, but I'm practicing this because it really suddenly, if you look at life from there, take a breath, put your hands like this on your chest, take a couple of breaths, and just think what I just said. Think of what I just said, that God is sending you people and circumstances to help you become more who you are, that you are creating this in your life. How does it feel? Do you still feel hopeless? Do you still feel helpless? Do you still feel disempowered? Please put in the chat. How does it make you feel when suddenly you start connecting with that and saying, like, whoa, if I'm a dad and I'm helping my kid with maths, Spanish, reading, whatever, sports, to help him become better, even though sometimes he might complain that he would rather not be in that situation of, practicing maths. I know that's the best for him. What if God knows exactly what is best for you? Suddenly, for me, right now, at this moment, I feel such a calmness inside of me, such a freedom inside of me, that everything is aligned. And I'm not saying that I feel like that 24/7, people. Don't get me wrong. Right now, our country is going through, something really difficult. Things are crazy in our country. So, yeah. But again, when I connect back to spirit, when I connect with soul, when I connect with I'm the creator and God is helping me through this, it's like I feel a part of the reality. Thank you, Susan. There you go. At least for me, it brings so much peace, so much empowerment, that I'm in control of my life. Even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it, even sometimes I might be experiencing different negative emotions. It's okay. I embrace everything. I not just embrace when things go the way that I want. I try to embrace everything. That's the idea. I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoy this. I share this from the bottom of my heart to help you guys as much as I can, help you understand how the mind works and how to be able to make changes. So again, I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.